Hey, welcome everybody to the Really Charlie podcast. My guest, Rick Reese, and we're gonna definitely hear a lot about him and his inspirational, educational stories. We're just gonna talk that talk, as my wife says, and we're gonna do that and listen to someone that I admire very much, homegrown from New Bedford, Massachusetts, and he's ventured off and moved all over the country and different things. Air Force veteran, a lot of business endeavors. He's definitely doing the thing, and he also falls back on the Christian faith to just keep himself stable and nice base. And so I'm glad to have him on here, and I'm glad that he's here to speak to all of you about the projects that he's doing, and one of them we're going to talk about very, very soon. So, without further ado, Rick Reese.
What's happening? Hey, you are my hero.
Thank you.
Your family is my hero. Like we was talking earlier, your father and that whole crew from the 70s. I left New Bedford in 76. But that was my impression. That was my experience. And that's something that you never get out of you.
No, it doesn't. And that time, I'm just glad I was born when I was born, just to get a combination of the old and the new, and just that way that y'all were, being brought up, and I got a taste of it, and it helped me out so much in my life, to just be ready, determined, ambitious, a fighter. I just, and the fight is the one thing that I remember, that it just, stand up for yourself, do what's right. Those are the things that I got from that era. And
that's me, totally.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's on the inside. And no matter where you go, those are the roots that come to the forefront. Wow. And that have made you. And so that no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, what you just described is me.
Awesome.
And never fail.
Yep.
Failure is not an option.
No, and you got to if you're your own self motivator, you can accomplish a lot, and that's what I try to be. And I'm also my biggest critic. So if something's got to get done and it's in my head, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So let's start off with you and the Westend Community Empowerment Center, WCEC. Is the acronym.
Man, that is so huge. That is so huge. Even when you leave New Bedford, you actually never leave New Bedford. And when I was listening to the podcast, I just love hearing y'all talk.
Thank you.
It's like being home. I was listening to Concepcio talk, and I was like, man, that's just like being home.
Mm-hmm.
And you just remember, and you don't get a chance to hear that. And but when you do, it strikes that chord of home. And like Concepcio was saying, man, there's a lot of great people that have come out of New Bedford. And that's a story that needs to be told. And so with the Westend Empowerment Center, that has been a vision of mine for a long time. Probably since around 13 years old.
And
to have a community center. Because, we didn't have no place to go to. I mean, the Boys Club was it, but the Boys Club was all we needed. But we didn't have that empowerment for the community.
Mm-hmm.
The Boys Club took care of us, and of course now the Girls Club. And Robbie is the man.
He is. He is the man.
Robbie is a consistent string across every conversation.
He is. And he started at a young age, man.
Man, Robbie, I played Barrister football. And
Okay.
Robbie and I are probably around the same age, maybe a year apart. He was the coach when I played Pee Wee Barrister football.
Wow.
And Robbie was the coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Robbie, what, was you born the coach?
Yeah.
But he got it at an early age.
He sure did.
You know,
He
we
sure
were
did.
still running around and acting crazy. Robbie was like dead on it. But anybody you talk to, Robbie is this consistent thread that connects everybody together from the community, you know, the West End.
It definitely, good dude, and my mentor. Definitely love seeing him. Makes me smile, and they say, "Hey, Charlie," and then they give you that good laugh. He just can't beat him, man. Can't. That mold is broken.
But you miss home. You know, when you leave, and I know when you went to LA, you don't even realize how much you actually miss home until you come back.
Yes.
And of course, you order linguiça online just so you can have some. But yeah, I left in '76. I left in '76. Of course, went to Keith, went to St. John's, and then from St. John's went to Keith for a year. And Keith is Keith.
Mm-hmm.
And I was part of the Black Wave that went to Holy Family.
Wow. Yep. And
the Black Wave to the Blue Wave.
Yes, definitely.
And of course, Father D. Father D was such a gracious man and one of my mentors. And you look back at certain people in your life that were so critical, to you being where you are, because we was locked down, man.
Mm-hmm.
At Keys, we was locked down. It's like, how do you break out of this?
Yes.
And so we broke out, the folks that went to Holy Family, so to speak,
mm-hmm.
and they called us the Black Wave.
Wow.
But we got basketball scholarships to go to Holy Family.
Awesome.
And all we had to do was like sweep after school,
mm-hmm.
and folks be just pretending to sweep in the same spot.
Yep.
But that was freedom, though. That was freedom.
Yeah, they're trying to. Well, I think they already are. They're gonna grab hold of that building, and it's gonna be some. Looks like some apartment building. So.
Really.
Yeah, I wish the diocese would have. Are capable of doing something else with that, but I think someone's gonna end up purchasing it, and some of the neighbors are definitely upset about it. So. It's too bad,
It's about money.
Yeah, it is. It is. All the old schools like that have been grabbed and taken only because they're strong, and people have ideas. Everybody has a brainstorm, and someone has a brainstorm that, that high school could be an apartment building for somebody. And, I mean, they're all over the Donaghy School, Duval School, T.A. Green. It just goes on, Kearney. The old Kearney is still, a Catholic school. So but all the other ones are pretty much being grabbed and taken over. So. But
that's why we're going to build the Westend Community Empowerment Center new, and not sure the location yet.
Okay.
But you was talking about Kempton and Emerson. I used to actually live on Kempton and Cedar.
Wow.
And man, I look at the Say brother from way back when,
mm-hmm.
and you just see the tenement houses.
Yes.
We had some bad conditions, boy.
Sure do. And
thank God it's changed from my perspective. Leaving in '76, living in United Front, seems like it's changed a little bit.
Yes, it's you could still get some very clear visions of back then just by standing out there and remembering some of the things, that were there and that were in place, and you just kind of say, wow. I remember, running on Cottage Street and then running up Elm to get to the park, and so you can reminisce, and if you get enough people there, you can write a nice book about, that time. Let's see. Michael Consaccio says, Charlie.
Michael Kahn.
Yes.
We lived next to each other on Chancery Street when I was in United Front.
Oh, so you made the neighborhood better, right? Yeah, Rick
He's
Reese.
the man.
Yeah.
Like he balling.
Yes, he does.
It's amazing.
He says, Charlie, let me tell you something right now. I don't even call him by his name. I call him 6'11". There wasn't enough words to describe him. He was my hero. New Bedford needs to honor this man. He is a man of integrity, character, pride. I'm so proud of him. And
thank you,
bro. Call him my brother. Yes.
6'11".
That's it.
Michael Kahn.
Yeah,
you know, you can't beat the folks from New Bedford, though. You know, yeah. I mean, when you're talking family, you're talking family.
Yeah.
And you're talking real. I mean, I know everybody that has left New Bedford knows that there's nothing like the realness of the people in New Bedford.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go out, you don't know the people. You know, and they say one thing, they do another. You don't even know their intentions. But when you know the people of New Bedford, man, it's that realness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, listening to Consaccio, you know, talking, all the people that have come out of New Bedford that have achieved greatness, because I believe what we've learned, you know, growing up in New Bedford, hard times, good times, both, you know, standing in line, getting some cheese, AFC cheese. You know, everybody's had a shared experience, you know, and but what we've learned has made us. But what I want to do, you know, with the center, and I'm a visionary, I'm a funder. You know, I run in some circles where we've got investment bankers, and I'm a businessman, and we're going to pay for it. And the vision is to do it debt-free. Wow. And I know we're going to have one in Westend, and I want to have one also in the South End. This is something that we've needed for so long, and it's going to have a full gym in it. And we can do weddings. You know, it's going to have a commercial kitchen in it, and meeting space where we can meet.
Wow.
And people in the community that have different things going on where they can meet. I want to do micro loans for businesses, you know, $5,000 micro loans. And so, you know, business is the way to go. And so the young people that have business ideas, you know, we want to be able to get them launched. We're going to do talent shows like we used to do back in the day. You know, I don't know if you ever participated in any of those talent shows.
No, not at all. I could.
Have mercy. Not that we had any talent, but it kept us off the street. Joey, big brother.
Yeah,
my big brother.
That's it. Another Air Force gentleman there. You know.
Yeah. All the Gonzalez, they're my big brothers, man. And but yeah, we're gonna have a commercial kitchen in there where we can have people. I want it to be the #1 tourist site in southeastern Massachusetts, where people can come and they can taste Cape Verdean food, they can taste, you know, West Indian food, different types of food, and sample it, and you know, walk away from that experience, because a lot of tourists, you know, that's a huge industry. And they don't even know, you know, what Cape Verdean is. They don't know West Indian. They don't know the culture, you know, the combined culture that's in New Bedford. And so I want to make sure that that comes out. So in addition to being, you know, athletic in gyms and doing basketball tournaments, I want to have an archive that archives kind of what they're doing with the Cape Verdean Museum, but that archives the families, that archives the things that we've accomplished, that archives the 70s insurrection.
Yes.
Call it insurrection, not the riots, but the insurrection.
Yep.
And but archives that story. We need our story to be told. Yes. You know, because nobody knows. And not only for the outside world, but also for the generations that are there that even now today are being told that you have no history, you have no past, nobody's done nothing, you know, where they can actually come through and they can see, you know, the great history that we've had of the people that have come out of New Bedford. Now, I didn't know, I heard Consaccio talk about the other day, you know, the four that sat in, you know, the Woolworths at the counter.
Yep, Jabril.
Yeah, his wife is from New Bedford.
Yes, yes. He's still here, still doing well, still helping out many people, and you know, and but they're still here, still
We want to
locally.
document that story. Nobody knows.
Yeah,
Growing up, I didn't even know, the great abolitionists that were here were even here. Growing up, we never heard that stuff.
yeah. And
We never heard all of the abolitionists and the movement that was here.
there's the podcast I did with Mr. Charlton, Lee Charlton, was very nice, and it talks about a lot of that. But he's a library himself, so him coming out, and especially like something like the Empowerment Center, where somebody like him could sit there, not standing in front of anybody, but like put a lazy boy chair there near a microphone, a lamp, and just talk and tell a story, one after another.
Storytelling.
Yeah, folk tales. Those need to come back, and I always talked about just kind of going into a Carney Academy or Keith Middle School or Roosevelt and just kind of have people just there, some of the old timers or someone that can share a story. You don't have to be old to share a story, but you could be old or young, but you want to share that story to the community that's about your community, and just kind of just let it out, where someone could kind of, even if it's Jabril, to sit there and say, where he talks about his first 24 hours in New Bedford and what he was going through, and what he felt, and so on and so forth, and that's what the Empowerment Center could do, will do, and
So we'll have meeting space in there. We'll have a computer center, and it's going to be a great resource for all ages. And for New Bedford, not just for the West End, but for New Bedford. Same thing with the South End, where people actually be coming into the West End, coming into the South End, because it's a resource. And yes, archiving everything. We want to archive from the whaling all the way up to now. And because the whalers from New Bedford in our community were the ones that made it. They went up to Alaska when it got slow around here. I mean, they're the ones who made it happen. And
Yes.
nobody knows. And that was the biggest thing, is that to be able to archive through photography as well, a photo exhibit, of the history of what's going on, and have, like, down at in the different museums where you can look and see what happened in the 70s during that insurrection and what led up to it and what came out as a result of it. And so that has shaped me. But went to Holy Family, graduated in '76, and wasn't planning to go to college. I was trying to skate my way through, man. I didn't feel like there was no more work. But I appreciate the Upward Bound programs during that time, and all the summer camps that they used to send us on, and that we went to. But I appreciate all of that, because all of that makes you, and you kind of stumble if you're willing. You stumble into your future, if you're willing, if you're open. But you heard me mention that this will be my second community center. Around 13 years old. Jim Colbert. I don't know if you know Jim Colbert.
Yes, yep.
That's
Great.
my best friend since probably 10 years old, 11 years old.
Sharp dressed man all the time,
Sharp dressed man. You got to get him on the show.
I you know what? That's easy. That's easy. I can do that.
Like, Nick, what you doing, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, get him on the show with his grandson.
All right.
But we built a clubhouse in his backyard.
Wow.
Around 13 years old. A two-story clubhouse.
That's
and
nice.
remember Beacons, the moving company?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jim lived right alongside of it, in the back of it. And the clubhouse was so big, we was able to actually get on the roof.
Wow.
Wow. And it was 2 stories. It was for the gang.
That's nice.
For the gang. And we was going to put an elevator in there. Of course, that was really like, what are you doing? It's only 2 stories. But that was the first community center. Now, of course, we did some dirt in there.
Yeah.
But it was for the community center. And I drew out the plans for that. And
Wow.
it was a vision even at that age, and knowing that we needed a place of gathering. You know, we needed a place for the community to come together. We're so separate, you
So
know, intentionally kept separate so that, you know, we don't form, you know, and come together. And I was looking at actually looking at some research on you as well, and talking about the breakfast program. That's how I used to eat, you know,
yes,
with the Panthers and their breakfast program. That's how I would eat before I went to school.
it's big Bob. He put me on his shoulders, and he take me to the breakfast program, and the thing was is that just by that man, he seemed to be the biggest person I've ever seen in my life. And he grabbed me, put me on his shoulders, and said, come on, we're gonna go eat. And it was just crazy. And that was right in that was on Chestnut Street, where it's a White House across from the old Carney. And so he took us in there that day, and
That was some good eating, boy.
it sure was. And they gave you more if you wanted more, you got it.
I never experienced anything like that, you know. And so when you think about all the good things that have happened for us, you can't help but give back. And so I left in '76 and went to the University of Lowell, Massachusetts, and said I want to be an engineer, but I bypassed all the engineering classes. I bypassed everything, man. But I said, okay, I want to be an electrical engineer. And so I
Mm-hmm.
went and I got a 1.6 my first year. And then, in those days, man, it was crazy going to school because you could do so much that would cause you to flunk out.
Mm-hmm.
And but I didn't flunk out, and I stuck with it. Joined ROTC, and I got commissioned and graduated as a plastics engineer.
Awesome.
And that was an out of body experience because I ain't know nothing about nothing, and I was just on autopilot and went through that experience. But went into the Air Force. Hello, Marianne. Went
Yes.
into the Air Force.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
I actually retired as a major from the Air Force.
Wow.
I retired as a major from the Air Force. Did satellites, and what a lot of people don't know is that we actually launched the GPS satellites that we now use on our
Nice.
phones. I was part of that mission control team. To
Wow.
launch. So a person from New Bedford was part of when you look at your phone and you see GPS and you see the directions and all of that was part of that team to launch the first GPS satellite.
I love it.
So
I
that
love
seems
it.
like so long ago though, you don't even time just flies, man. But I live here in Colorado Springs now,
Okay.
and we've been here since I retired in '97. And,
Yeah.
and so I'm still community. So I left my job to go into the community here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was here when Katrina happened.
Oh, all right.
And I was involved in the community, serving on boards and commissions. And when Katrina happened, the United Way asked me to help integrate. We had about 1,500 people come to our community here. And they asked me to help integrate them into the community, get them jobs, food, housing, cars. And that was probably one of the most rewarding experiences of my life, to be able to help those people write resumes. And they gave me a building, and we was able to bring them all through, run them all through. Now, of course, Colorado is different than New Orleans.
Yeah.
What's up, Mike?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Michael, another good dude, man.
That's a major man right there, too.
I'd like to get him on it, but he's I don't know. We got same nephews, same nieces, but he don't talk to me anymore. He just maybe he's making more money. I don't know. He don't talk to me. He don't call me. Michael, I'm only joking. I love him.
When you get him on the show, ask him about the '70s insurrection.
I'm going to ask him about that. I'm going to ask him.
He's an expert.
Yep. I'm going to ask him.
He actually schooled me.
I'm going to ask him about his dancing. in the 80s. I'm going to talk to him about that, you know. And
Garden of Gods is beautiful.
yeah. Yeah, it's and see that, you know, we just in this comment section alone, there's so many people that you could talk to. You know, we just had some comments about you know, Ian White and his wife Lisa. They're doing a lot of stuff for the city. And they came here and they planted their roots here and raising their child here.
Nice.
Have some property here. And those are the, you know, people that, you know, they love it here. And we talked about how you don't realize how much you miss the city until you get here. And, you know, and I know that feeling very, very well, you know.
Well, I'm going to be looking for people to take over the Westend Community Empowerment Center and even the South End one. I'm just the visionary and the funder.
Well, you know what?
So, and then I'm sure, hey man, we got some serious talented folks.
Yes, yes,
you know,
definitely.
that do that. You know,
So
serve
many.
on boards, serve on commissions, organize. You know, so
Yeah.
my job will be as the visionary, bringing it to fruition and raising the money and pulling the funders together and the money together, and then saying, okay, let's form teams to set up the admin and the administration of it, and hiring people and the whole bit, you know.
I lo-
But and yeah, and then just turn it over to the qualified, capable folks that we have, and people have been thinking about this for a long time.
yeah.
You know, we've always, you know, from the beginning, really recognized that this is something that we actually do need. And that's why the Boys Club has helped us in molding and shaping us. And but we need something that goes beyond that, that reaches out to all ages.
Yes.
Like I envision people that are a little bit older coming and forming, you know, groups and just getting together and being able to satisfy that community need. And I envision weddings in there, you know,
That would be
with the
nice.
tubs of Jag and everything else, all the food, you know, like you see down at OLOA, you know, go to a wedding, you know, all the food that's on the shelves and counters,
Mm-hmm.
and but I envision that as well, but just a place for people to come together, and it's going to be huge. So we're looking at 2025, and 2025 is because I'm pulling together the funding for it,
Okay.
and so it could happen before 2025. I just put that out there as a date.
Yeah, and it's you know, it's good to know. And then I trying to think. Maybe 2 years ago, I think David Gonzalez and I were talking about it. He's kind of telling me about it, and you know, and that's when we reached out. I reached out to you on Facebook on my, you know, older page, and then we got connected then. But um, I was all excited about it because, for one, I was always a person that wanted to have my own gymnasium, you know, so people could come in and out, being young or old, to play some basketball, and just you know, because that's how it was for me in LA. You know, I just had to walk across the street, you know, and the gym was there. You know, the baseball diamonds were there. You know, there was more than enough for a kid to do, and without getting into trouble. You know how it is in California. There's more than enough things to get you in trouble. But when they provide you a venue to go to, you know what? You
That's
really,
nice.
you're looking for some positive things, and they were kind of they got a lot of things going during the season. You know, well, in California, you can play any sport all year round, but with the season, you know, baseball season, you know, they had football. You know, you had the flag football, you had Pop Warner, you had all of it. It was all right there, and all I had to do was just go across the street. You know, um,
Nice.
so but
We used to play at United Front till the lights went out or till it got dark. And
hmm
snow, sleet, hail, like
yeah,
Monty's Park. Snow, sleet, he was out there just playing, going to the pros, going playing college, and
hmm
you know. And then of course reality sets in, And it's like, okay, I'm not going to the pros. I'm not playing in
Yeah.
college. This is it right here. I ain't going no further.
That's it.
And, and people find themselves stuck. What am I going to do? But yeah, to be able to go inside, that's why, I don't know, of course, not being there, but looking at Cedar and Morgan, and then I'm sure they play softball, baseball in that big field there,
Yep.
But I'm like, man, that would be perfect,
Yeah,
for all the people, in United Front to be able to come there and as a gathering space for that whole area. And so
yeah, that's
we're looking to see.
That's city owned, and it's called Magnet Park.
Got you.
So it they used to do the family day, which will probably happen again. Once all these restrictions are gone and all that. But it was a bunch of older gentlemen. They would play soccer there. On every weekend, probably once, twice a week. So it's getting utilized, but it is, like you said, that's a prime spot for something that you're talking about. It's just so many different locations, but that one I love.
Because it's right in the center of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing down the South End. Finding that place, where we could do it down the South End also.
Yeah,
and, I want it to be the envy of New Bedford.
Yes.
No, I should say it will be the envy of New Bedford because we want the tourists to come, especially with the smell of the aroma of all the foods.
Mm-hmm. That's
the
right.
culture.
I mean, look at the former Daddy Grace's church. I mean, you still smell food from there, And,
oh man, yeah.
It's but food will get people there. Food will get people inside. Everybody loves to eat. I'm still amazed. I didn't know you held the rank of major, and it just got me in awe right now. I don't know how I didn't have that conversation with Mr. Gonzalez to just.
I was actually on a general officer track.
Okay, all right.
You're a general officer. Military. You're a general officer before you're at the rank.
Wow.
And so I was performing at the level of a general officer, and on that track to become a general officer, and chose not to because of the need that's out here.
Okay.
And so when the opportunity came to retire, it's like, go ahead and let that go, which is a much smaller pond to be able to give back to people than coming out and then being able to serve those skills and talents to the community.
Awesome.
I'm all about community building and looking at ways that we can improve our community. Yeah. What's up, David?
Yes.
He is the man.
Yes. Yes.
I have so much respect for him. Especially for his accomplishments with the Blue Angels.
Yes,
and he was representing New Bedford, of course, First Cape Verdean, like you said, in that position. And being a military person, that is a huge position. The Blue Angels are the Blue Angels.
Yes.
And to be, in the position that he was, crew chief, and just making things happen, calling the shots, being able to fly those jets.
Yep.
Ooh, man, that's heavy respect, bro.
In fact, Mr. Gonzalez, Blue Angel, you got to come on this podcast. I need
that story
you on
needs to
it.
be told.
Yes, very much so. We want you on here for an hour or two just to do your thing, man, David. Make sure, man. Do it for me. Do it for you. Do it for New Bedford. Do it for the Blue Angels, man. Get that story out, man. It's a positive one. So
what's the trip is that we don't tell people about our accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
There's something inside of us that we don't want to tell people about the things that we've done. Oh, you're welcome, man. Thank you so much, Ian. That we don't tell people about all the things that we've accomplished, and we just hold it in. But that's what I want to document in the center. You know, yes, sir. I want to document the major families that are in New Bedford and the history of those families.
Yes.
You know,
And
and David came up in my DNA as a third cousin.
look at that. That's it.
Wow, wow.
It's I love it. That's so nice. The Sir Charles. That's what he calls me, Sir Charles. If he could be across the room. If I hear Sir Charles, I'm gonna know it's either David or Joey. One of them are calling me that. But I love
Now
it.
you don't just land those jobs though.
Hmm.
You don't
Yeah.
just land that particular job. Can you
No.
imagine in the Navy all the people that compete for that job?
Yes.
All
Yeah.
the all the all the top dogs, the top guns that compete for that job, and for David to actually get that job, is amazing. What's interesting though is when you look back on your accomplishments, it's like another person that
Hmm.
did that because you was in the moment, you was in the time. But man, the talent that has come out of New Bedford, man, I've got to. That's my life's mission, is to document that. And I love what you were saying about the storytelling. The generation that we have now and generations to come, they need to know.
Hmm.
They need to know because that'll be their self esteem. So we want to do classes and have meeting space where we're teaching self-esteem, we're teaching life skills, we're teaching financial management, where people can come in from the community and community beyond and get those lessons from experts, from professionals, and where it becomes a resource, that kind of sets the pace for the West End and the South End to totally turn it around to where we're not captives,
Hmm.
in the blockade
Yeah.
of the
Yep.
West End, the blockade of the South End, but where people want to come in,
Yes.
where people are fighting to come into our communities. And
So.
we can do that, just by putting something out there that's world class, man. And so that's my vision, and it will be accomplished. Albert Einstein says that your imagination is a preview of life's coming attraction. And so that's something that has already happened that we're just walking it out and walking into. I see it so clearly.
Uh, yeah. We could. Sorry about that. Got some. Um. And when you put enough visionaries together, um, the sky's the limit. And I just, you know, I'm here to help you as much as I can. I don't care what it takes. I definitely, because I see the goodness in this, I see the essential reasons, the essence of it. I definitely see that, and definitely want to make sure that it gets off its feet, which it will because you're behind it.
It
And
will. I never fail.
yeah,
That's one of the things. I never fail. I'm a person that accomplishes that which I intend. And as you mentioned, I'm a person of faith, and so I'm a marketplace minister. You may have seen that, but I'm a
yes, I did.
marketplace minister. And what's a marketplace minister? It's just someone that has gone into the community. And personally, I want to unite a spiritually focused team of other marketplace ministers and to fulfill the Great Commission. And that is the driver. But in marketplace ministry, we look at businesses and and how we can create wealth to fund community projects.
Hmm.
Because that's we all have visions and we all have goals, and I see some of the things that you're trying to do, and David and different places and different folks, Consacio, and with the museum, and we're all held in place because of money and having access to money. And so that was one of the things as a community builder and visionary myself. that I recognized early on is that we need access to money. And as a businessman, that's why I'm in business. And I'm in the travel business. And that's why I'm in the travel business. I'm not in travel to just travel, even though we love to travel. But I've done 36 cruises.
Awesome.
I'm in the travel business. That's what we do. But I saw a door of access to be able to take money from the travel business for basically three things for me personally: personal freedom.
Yeah.
I left the workforce in 2005. So personal freedom for my wife and I.
Good.
She was a real estate broker, and I was in IT. And we left that in 2005. So I wanted to prove that model of being free. And not everybody does that. I mean, you got to be free. Otherwise, you're just bound. Slavery does exist.
Yes.
And of a personal freedom. Secondly, community building. I want to create a pipeline of wealth that flowed from the travel industry. Instead of going to Expedia, Travelocity, I want to be able to take market share and create a pipeline of wealth that flows into the community without asking permission to do the things that need to get done. And so in marketplace ministry, we're looking at businesses and how we can tap into those businesses to create, wealth that flows from those businesses into the community as a resource versus begging people, asking people. Like if you got to ask people, the answer is no. I'm not asking people to fund the center. I'm going to do it. I'm not asking, I'm not begging, I'm not crawling. As a community builder myself, and walking out this process of marketplace ministry, I've seen the door to be able to transfer wealth for community building. And then thirdly, as a believer, to spread the gospel around the world. But those three things. And also in marketplace ministry, that's how I'm using travel.
Awesome.
And people don't realize, but not just in the travel industry, but business in general, being able to take a piece of that profit and put it into a cause that you believe in is the way to go versus causing these causes, forcing them to beg. That's why nothing ever gets done. And so as a community builder coming from, New Bedford and, of course, serving the community that came up from New Orleans, one of the things in the community I realized is that we're held in place because money is metered out to where people choose for it to go. I mean, there's a lot of money, but, they say we're going to fund this, we're going to fund that. We're not going to fund the museum. We're not going to fund this over here, that over there. No, we're not going to fund the center, And so it becomes very intentional. And so one of the things that I'm doing is I'm saying, no, let's take a look at business. What's up, Mike? Let's take a look at business and see how we can redirect the wealth. Hey, man, bro.
Go ahead. I don't mean to get you off that conversation. Just continue what you were saying. These comments, I don't want you to read and get distracted because I think your message is very, very important. So continue, Mr. Reese. I'm sorry.
Well, thank you, sir. I'm just reading also. But yeah, and so, but that's the critical thing. The critical piece is, how do we fund our own projects without begging and asking? And the way we do that, as I have discovered, through experience. I'm not talking philosophy, theory. I'm talking something that I have been walking out as a model to see: personal freedom, community building, global missions, being able to tap in business and redirect that wealth without asking permission. Because if you got to ask permission, the answer is no. But to be able to harness that wealth and redirect it to where I choose for it to go. And that's how I'm going to fund the center, along with, of course, we've got major donors, investment bankers, and people of goodwill that want to help out. And they're there but I want to prove the model for me specifically in the travel industry. Expedia made 85 billion in 2019.
Wow.
Expedia, 85 billion with a B. Now you
Wow.
can't fault them as business.
Yeah.
In an industry of booking online, and many of the folks listening book online, that is $762 billion. $762 billion
Wow.
is what the industry is of booking online, 2019. In 2022, that will grow to $1,091 billion
Wow.
industry. So what's a few billion amongst friends?
I'm,
We're gonna fund all. We're gonna fund all your projects, Charlie.
yeah. All right.
and so I'm in the business of travel,
Good.
and you know, working with the company that I work with, Surge. They have a product called the Vortex, and man, I am going to organize communities. I work with businesses. I work with organizations. I work with businesses, communities, churches, entrepreneurs, nonprofits. I want you to think about this. 7.7 billion people worldwide locked down at the same time, starting to peek out their door, saying, where am I going to go? I got to go anywhere from here. We are going to override the return of travel with a tool called the Vortex. What's the Vortex?
That was my question.
Most people have booked online.
Yep.
The Vortex is a free link, complimentary. Give it out to the entire city of New Bedford. Give it out to the state of Massachusetts. Give it out to all 51 states. Give it out globally. It's a free link that when I work with organizations, they can give out to their member base through social media, give it out to the world. It's a travel savings website. So people can go to the Vortex. And we're going to use that. In fact, we just launched a fundraising campaign with the Vortex. People can go to the Vortex, create their own sign-in personal travel site, savings site. Book connects to the same vendors, same industry. What a lot of people don't know is that Expedia, they're not in travel. They're just that broker middleman that connects to the travel vendors. The travel vendors pay them $85 billion. So we're giving them the boot as the middleman.
Good.
And we're putting regular people like you and I in organizations and businesses and schools that are looking to raise money, fundraising, in that spot where people can go to that through the Vortex, same vendors, same Marriott Hotel, same United Airlines, Southwest, same. But instead of those vendors paying Expedia and Priceline, which by the way own all the other companies out there, and they actually set the public rate.
Wow.
They own all the other companies, set the rate. The Vortex, when somebody books that Marriott Hotel through the Vortex, it goes and it looks at that public rate. Bro, it comes in up to 60% less than the public rate.
Wow.
So the person getting this free link, they save money going through that free link. The owner of the Vortex, whether it be a school, whether it be the museum, whether it be the organization, business, they earn 60% of the money saved. So if they save $100, $60 goes to whomever. If they save $1, 60 cents. You don't have to manage it. And so I bring in whole communities, and they focus on the Vortex when they get ready to, as the 7.7 billion people go back to traveling again. We're going to override the travel industry by providing a product that saves people money for the same thing that we're going to do anyway. And then 60% of what they save comes back into a community pot. And if Expedia can make 85 billion in an industry that's 191 billion in 2022 as the world gets ready to travel again. Man, we're going to be building everything we need in our communities without
Wow.
asking permission. And that's one of the things is being able to assess a business and say, what can we use in this business to support any community endeavors, and how easy is it to transfer that wealth?
That's a good. That's wonderful. This
Very
past,
powerful.
yeah, and we have one thing about this community is they have, everyone's kind of fishing in the same pond, the same little bucket. And like you said, they're getting all those no's, or it's slotted for, you know, someone else, or whatever it may be. But what happens is in this area, we're all going to the same, like the community block grants, the community development grants, so on and so forth. And so now everyone has these, we have the guidelines, you have everything that need to come up with from A to Z, and now you got to present it to a board, and now this selective crew has to approve where that money goes. And not all the time you're going to get in it, but, so something like this would kind of be another avenue, another venue, another opportunity for people to get the funding to do the particular things that they need to.
I'm bringing money from outside of New Bedford into New Bedford.
Oh.
Global money to come into New Bedford. I mean, somebody over in China may get the Vortex link and go to England. Not even come to not even come to the States.
Yes.
They save 60% of what they save goes to whomever, wherever. And so what we're doing is we're tapping into a global resource, to be able to harness. And so the power of a tool to be able to do that is huge.
Yes.
Because money is controlled.
Yes, it is.
Like you just said, man, have to go through and submit your little package, and knowing that the people sitting up there looking at it are like, is it Joe? Is it my cousin Joe? Is it not? What are they doing? How much freedom will this give them?
Yep.
No, we're bypassing. That's why I say without asking for permission, we're bypassing that whole process. We're just that's marketplace ministry.
Yes.
That's being able to go in and do the things that need to get done.
So true. New Bedford youth are learning about the greatness of their own relatives and very empowering to them.
You're right,
and
Mike.
Coupling with the outlet you'll be providing them is a beautiful thing.
Man. See, it's all about self-esteem. We've been beaten down for so long. And that's why I admire you all that, are in New Bedford, because it's almost like we're taught a mindset. And man, to break lock from that, it's almost like we're waiting for permission to excel, to achieve. That's why I love, Derek Baptiste and Mike and yourself and others who are in, good positions and going forward, regardless of the mindset that we have been taught.
Yes.
And I know you can agree, when you really feel it when you leave.
Yes.
It's like, man, I'm free. I'm a bird. Because it's like you're taught to hold it down. You're taught to stay in the South End, the West End.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you end up going, elsewhere, everyone's a stranger. So you got to deal with strangers, and now you get where it kind of teaches you that, and then eventually now you get comfortable where, well, I talked to a stranger yesterday and I just got 10 grand. I talked to another stranger, 2 weeks ago, and I didn't get it. But I talked to another person, guess what? It helped me out. And what I'm saying is that you get so comfortable. I mean, you're talking from one strange person to the next, to the next, and next. So now when you come to, you got to present something to some other new people. All right, no big deal. Let's go. Let's do it. And so now that encouragement is like, you're you're ready. You're ready to tell the world. You're ready to tell the world what you're trying to do, what your brainstorm is, and you have no worries at all.
You lose
And
that fear.
yeah, exactly. That's better. Lose that fear of just just being fearless. One of
Like I'm fearless,
yeah, fearless.
but I wasn't always fearless.
Okay.
Because you're taught to be. What's up, my mentor from birth? Hey, we was both babies in the crib, and he was like, you want to play football? Okay, I'm gonna show you how to play.
Yeah. Right. That's it.
Man, I love that dude, man.
Robbie was a baby boss, He came out.
We both babies in cribs. I'm sucking on, whatever. He's like, let me see. I can straighten that out for you. Hold on, let me pull that out further.
That's it.
Yeah, not try it. Robbie has affected so many lives, and he continues to affect so many lives. And that's a beautiful thing.
You know what? I gotta tell Robbie how to spell Papa though. He had some nice pictures. His grandchildren, and me and another Gonzalez man. We love watching people put Papa P-U-P-A. It's P-U-P-P-A. 3 P's in it. But anyway, I can't. I don't have enough words for Robbie Mendes.
Robbie's a saint, not in the sense of a saint, but he is. What I'm saying? Because Robbie is Robbie. Yeah. But the heart that he has to help people, man. Hats off to you, Robbie.
That's it. He gets that. His mom was the same way, man. She was special. Good woman, cared for so many people, and but he's got it in his blood.
So yeah, that was my crew. We was all the crew. Can you imagine having Robbie in that whole little clique thing, man? That was pretty nice, man. Jim Covert, Michael Delgado, and Glenn Forts, and that whole even Warren the Rat Korea. I don't know if you've met Warren. God bless his soul.
Yep.
Jeff Berglund, all of them, man. Just awesome people.
Yeah, sure is. The
Matt Pearson, Matt.
Yep. It's the old Joey, my man. That's another dude, man.
I know.
We talk every day, and I love the dude. He's good people.
Who ran me down to go to college? Gordon Ribeiro.
Oh, yep.
Gordon Ribeiro, man. Because I wasn't going to college, man. I was like, nah, I really don't like school. Mm-hmm. Every time I saw that guy, man, he said, "Do you take your SAT?"
Yes.
And I'll be hiding behind bushes. He walked by.
Mm-hmm.
You take your SAT? You take your SAT? Man, awesome. What is an SAT? I don't know what an SAT even is.
No.
Man, I took an SAT and bombed it. And so, but I said, okay, I think I want to go to MIT.
Mm-hmm.
And so I submitted my SAT, bombed, big time bomb. I didn't even know MIT was one of those elite schools.
Uh-huh.
And they was like, I'm sure they probably just laughed.
Yeah.
But then when I sent it to University of Lowell, here's a good story. I sent it to University of Lowell. They said, sure, come on up. And Lowell is the poor man's MIT.
Mm-hmm.
Lowell used to be University of Lowell, poor man's MIT. And so they said, we have a summer program. And you can come up to our summer program with all inner city kids, 162 inner city kids in this summer program. And so they were supposed to be teaching us like pre-chem, physics, English, all the stuff that all of us didn't take.
Uh-huh.
And so we was up there partying big time. Summer of 76. And so we party. They all flunked out. Everybody in that class flunked out except for 2 people. Me and this other lady, Sharon Bradley.
Wow. Wow.
5 years later of a 4-year program. Five
Man.
years later. And, during those days, you would do all kind of stuff in college. And, it's like, whatever, whatever. And, but 5 years later of a 4-year program, I graduated as a plastics engineer. Don't ask me how, but I did. Commissioned a second lieutenant in the Air Force.
Wow.
5 years later, two people from that initial program of 162 folks, everybody flunked out. I see them all go. It's like, oh man, I ain't going back to New Bedford though. I can't go back as a failure. And but 5 years later of a 4-year program, two people graduated.
Wow.
Me and this other girl. And I looked at that, man. I was like, wow, And so everybody's got a purpose. And the most important thing in life you can do is discover, what is your purpose? Why are you here? What are you here to do? I don't care if you feel like you may be stuck in New Bedford or stuck anywhere. You are here to do something, not just exist, not just go from day to day to day to day to day. And especially if you're from New Bedford, in New Bedford, even outside New Bedford, you have a purpose. That's why we made it through. Whether you're in New Bedford, outside New Bedford, what is that purpose? And and it is so important to find that purpose before you leave this earth. And because when you do, you're going to find your place. And one thing that's interesting is that things come to that purpose. When you start walking in that purpose, like you're doing that now, really, Charlie? When you start walking in that purpose, you start moving towards the things that you were supposed to do in life. And you can be free, in that purpose, because all your skills and all your talents, your personality will start serving your purpose, and so you'll start feeling comfortable to do the things that are part of that purpose. If you're uncomfortable, you're doing something outside of your purpose. Sit down, get quiet, and get still, and assess. Now, as a believer, I say, ask the question, what is my purpose? And get a composition notebook, and you'll start hearing from the inside, the answers to the questions that you can write in this composition notebook. One of the things we do in marketplace ministry is helping people discover their purpose. Why am I here? What is the vision that you've seen? The vision that you see is life's coming attraction. Your real life, and your real life is in your purpose. Your real life is in the vision that you see for your life, not what you may be stuck in. And so when you start getting still and saying, okay, I'm going to make this a project to find my purpose. Like Steve Harvey says, what is that gift that you have? The gift is the thing that you can do better than anybody else without even trying. That gift is where your money is made. Like what you're doing now, Charlie, is part of your gift. And that's why it just flows. And that's why people just love you, man, because you're bringing them out. You're giving them a platform, for their purpose. Man, you are multiplying purposes. That's beautiful.
I love doing it. I love talking to people. I mean, look what I gained today. I gained this conversation with you.
All right now.
and we gained, as a community, whether it's a virtual community in New Bedford, we're gaining a lot, and just by this conversation right here. And I'm just so happy that you're here. You're here to tell me this story, tell all of us this story. And as far as my gift, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take this Really Charlie podcast as my gift, because you know what? Every day that I'm on it, I feel so much better. I feel good.
That's beautiful.
And so
we're going to do great things in the community. I'm going to create this pipeline of wealth that will allow us in New Bedford to do the things that we know need to get done. And I was reading an article on yourself and some of the things that you're trying to accomplish in the community. And so we're gonna take this wealth and we're gonna actually do those things, and we're not asking anybody's permission.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
That's a good
We've
thing.
learned that you don't have to ask permission, because when you have to ask permission, the answer is delay, 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 no.
Yeah.
And but we're going to accomplish, and we'll probably form a board. We'll form a board that can go through and look at the different proposals of things that we want to do in the community and that people want to get done in the community. And assess, the benefit to the community at large and entire, and not just West End, South End, but New Bedford.
Mm-hmm.
This is improving New Bedford, because as we know, as we improve the West End and the South End, it improves the whole city, of New Bedford.
Yes, it does.
And coming together. And so it's not just a here, but it's New Bedford, and putting all of us on the map. Not just selected few. Another saint is Father D, man. I got to give him, his due. Father Driscoll, was one of those pivotal leaders and mentors in my life. But I did ask him. I said, when I was getting ready to go in the military, I said, Father D, what you think? Should I go into the Air Force? He said, Rick, I think that's a bad idea. I'm like, well, Lord, hey, Father D, as much as I respect you,
Yep.
God rest your soul, but I got to go in. And see, you can make choices in life when you understand your purpose. Like, to start the broadcast, people are like, what?
Mm-hmm.
How you going to continue that? But when you understand your purpose, now you can make choices based on that purpose, not just fluff midair.
Mm-hmm.
So when Father D said that, I was like, something inside of me, though, says that, this is what I got to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I respect what you're saying, and I'll take that into consideration. But there's a bigger something inside. And because one step leads to the next step. And see, that's the thing, man. Fear can't keep you from the next step.
Mm-hmm.
Because when it keeps you from the next step, you miss the next step. But if you can be fearless because of what you feel in your heart, to take that step and do a really Charlie, and then you start finding the other steps. They all start, illuminating, and you start seeing which way to go, and it's like, oh, and then you run into the people that you're assigned to, and they're assigned to you, and you come together, and then you go to the next step, and then you go to the next. That's community.
Mm-hmm.
That's community. And so my whole thing in what I just said is adding the funding piece to that. Not just travel, but looking at business and how can we take money from business to do the things that we need to get done, successful businesses. How can we take the money? Because otherwise we're not going to be able to get anywhere. But if we can come together as a community in the marketplace and see, as a believer, I believe in wealth transfer. In fact, wealth transfer is in full effect. Wealth transfers from the marketplace, not the workplace, not the dollars of the workplace. It transfers from the wealth of the marketplace. And so being able to assess tools, business tools, and their effectiveness to be able to transfer wealth, and that's why I say travel, man. That's hands free, man. I ain't got to do nothing. Speedy ain't do nothing to make $85 billion. But provide a service. I'm giving them the boot.
Yeah.
And we're gonna put the vortex in that place and just redirect that wealth. But we're held in place because we have no money. And so, and going around in circles. So, man, I said, because I got involved in the community here in Colorado Springs, and I'm like, I'm not going to another meeting if you don't have no money, because it's just talk. It's talk. It's great conversation. We had a good conversation today, and you still ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
So until we come back to the place of the shift now in our communities is, how do we fund seriously? How do we fund from the marketplace not the begging place, but from the marketplace. How do we fund the things that need to get done? And I'm very serious about that. And that is my intention now. How do I fund what I'm trying to do without asking permission of anyone? And being able to look at the successful business. I know David was talking about some of his partners that have some serious successful businesses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how can we fund the things that are important to us from business, from the marketplace? So all eyes to the marketplace to transfer wealth, to get the things that need to get done moving forward in our communities. And we can get that as a vision. You know, reality comes to vision.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you hear me talk about the Westend Community Empowerment Center, it's reality coming to vision.
Yes.
And calling that forth.
It's so true. And you know, human nature, we want to see. We physically want to see it. You know, or feel it rather. We want to. We got those visions, just like you're talking about. But eventually, sometimes people won't believe you until it's physically there.
And it's not their responsibility.
No.
It's the visionary's responsibility, because the vision didn't come to them.
Yeah, true.
And so even you know, for everything, if it's a lamp, that lamp began with a thought. And that thought was the person that invented the lamp. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Really, Charlie came as your vision, and you would tell other people, and they'd be like, I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But it's your vision. And so it was your responsibility to override whomever else to bring it into reality as your baby that's birthed. And you've done a great job in birthing that baby. Push, Charlie, push!
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I love it. I love it. I love this show. And you know, I'm honored to be here with you. And we still got plenty of stuff to do, plenty of work to do. And I'm only a message away, brother. And I really, really can't wait. Can't wait to see everything from A to Z and how this all happens, because I'm so proud to wear a New Bedford shirt. And that's what this Westend Community Empowerment Center is, New Bedford. So let's get it done.
And South End. I want one down the South End too.
Yeah, and it will happen, you know.
Actually, I'm having one New Bedford, Miami, Atlanta, Tacoma, Washington, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and Orlando, Florida.
Wow.
But New Bedford first.
Good. And I know it. I know it's going to happen. Only because it's in you. It's your vision, like you said. And like you said, you don't fail.
Never.
It's gonna be nice.
Because I'm his.
Yeah.
You know, it's not my boast. Visions come from God.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh boy.
God,
so I can say, yeah, big and bad, man. I don't fail, man. But know that the boast is in Him. When He gives you something, if you can stand whatever trial, whatever test, and see it through to get the instructions on the things to do, you'll never fail either.
That's it. And you mentioned Steve Harvey. He's always talking, you know, build that conversation with God. Talk to God daily, you know, ask Him, you know, praise Him. You know, it's so, and I hear that every day, you know, because I'm always on his Steve Harvey morning show. And
I love him, man. I listen to him all the time.
Yeah, and he starts off being inspirational. That's the way he starts everything off, and kind of gets the day going, you know, starts the day on the right track. So, Mr. Rick Reese, I just want to, you know, give you another opportunity to kind of end this podcast in any way possible that you want to, whether it's a word or two, you know. I just want you to kind of give the Really Charlie podcast your final thoughts or ambitions.
I just say all things are possible to him who believes.
Awesome.
And I know inside New Bedford, there's people like, we want things to happen. We want things to happen. And I believe I can say this for everyone outside of New Bedford that has left New Bedford. They want things to happen also. And I believe us coming together, to give back to our community together. And we know things will happen. But all things are possible to him who believes.
Awesome. Awesome. It's going to happen. And I believe in everything that we talked about this evening. And
first thing, David, I want you on the podcast.
Yeah. Come on. Actually,
you, my friend, have a story.
Yeah, exactly.
We need that story, man. Okay, now I hear you, bro. I hear you, man. And I got you. We talked, and so we're there.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to David. I gotta get him on.
Powerful, man. Powerful.
Yeah. Yep.
Love you, David.
Yeah. David, I'll even get up early. We can do an early podcast. I know how he wakes up early, sunrise. I know
and
that.
Jim Colbert too. You want Jim Colbert on.
Yeah. In fact, that was my next question. Who do you want to see on the Really Charlie podcast?
I want to see David, and because David, man, he tells me a story, man. It would bring tears to my eyes, David's story.
Yeah.
And because I know what it takes to do what he accomplished. And Jim Colbert, we've just been friends since like 11, 12.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a powerful brother there too.
Yeah.
Jim is a powerful brother, full of wisdom. He keeps to himself, but that's the wisdom that he has, and he has a lot to offer to New Bedford. And he's part, Michael DeSantos, Jim, and even Derek Baptista, they're part of the vision that I'm doing and the New Bedford connection to it. Now, of course, you're part of that as well.
Thank you.
I say Jim Colbert and David.
All right, I'm going to do
Jim's going to be like, man, Rick, what are you doing, man? I'll just be an undercover brother over here.
Well, I will this evening be sending my messages out to all of them.
But I appreciate being on the show, though, man. I really do. Because I normally don't tell anybody. I just do.
Mm-hmm.
And you see on our Westend page, I'll say something every now and then. Usually every month I'll say something. But I normally am a person of show me, do. And then, you see, and then I present it to you versus telling you, because I'm not looking for approval, pat on the back. No. This is something that in my spirit I got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, Derek Baptiste. Has Derek Baptiste been on this show?
Him and I talked a couple of times. The latest time we talked was yesterday, and we're just trying to arrange a date that's good for both of us, Let
me tell you what you're doing, Charlie, and then we jump off.
Sure,
what you're doing is bringing the people that care together to do something. What that something is, we'll find out.
Yes.
But, we have all been in our own little quiet worlds. And what you're doing is you're letting people know about each other and bringing community together to accomplish a purpose. And we'll find out what that purpose is. But you're bringing the people that care together. And the minds, the great minds, like Concepcio and, the great minds that you've had on the podcast, and even more so in the families and people that really care, that when they come together, there's a synergy, that happens. And we've been trying to do that for a long time, but separately. Mm-hmm. And of course, now that synergy is coming together. And so thank you for doing that.
Thank you. And, we're going to do it. We are going to do it. And I can't wait. Cannot wait. But everyone you mentioned, I'm going to reach out to them, get them on here. I got a short May won't be as many shows as I've been doing, only because I have a busy schedule in May. So, um, but anyways, Rick Reese, my man, my favorite major of all time. You know what? I'm very proud of you. If that matters,
Thank
I'm
you,
proud
sir.
of you, man. I'm very
It
proud
does
of you.
matter.
And
Son of New Bedford, it absolutely matters.
thank you. Thank you. If you need me, give me a holler. You want to come back on this podcast for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. Really,
I'll give you updates from time to time.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be about what we just talked about. It could be anything. You want to come on, you just let me know.
It'll be about David Gonzalez.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going.
Has he been on the show yet?
Yeah, we're gonna get him.
Love you too, man.
All right.
All right, my bro.
Take care, man. I love you. Take care.
Love you too, man.
All right.
We'll see you.
Let's see you. Love it. It's you can't get any better than that. That gentleman is the cream of the crop. You know, our Rick Reese. You know, and I say our because he loves that. He loves being a part of this city, this community, and look what he's doing. He's got a brainstorm that's going to become reality very, very soon. And I just hope that everyone continues to look out for that. And I mean, listen to him, what he said. He's not looking for approval. He's just going to do it. And that's what we need within this city. More of that. Just do it. Nike took that slogan and took that phrase, just do it, but it applies to everyone. It applies to everyone to just do what we need to get done. And if we reach into that market money, guess what? We don't need any approval. Just go out and get it. And I'll get out there and do it. Thank you, everyone, for listening and viewing the Really Charlie podcast here on StreamYard, Facebook, Anchor, Spotify, and YouTube. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube, please. I would like to have more subscribers on there. And feel free to, and if you want someone on this podcast, just send me a little message. I'll get things going, in the right direction. All I can do is invite someone there, here rather, and they can tell me yes or no. And you're welcome. Thank you also for listening and viewing. So if you feel that you want someone on this podcast, just let me know. I'll reach out to them. I'm not afraid to reach out to people and just ask them. So, in conclusion, mask those beautiful faces. Hand sanitize and wash your hands. Stay safe, everyone. God bless. Stay blessed. Be blessed. Love you all, man. Thank you.